Betul.
Ha?
Kalau hari tu ni Tika dia ada apa noise punya background tu dia apa dia move.
Tak dengar lah.
Dengar.
Sekejap. Asal kat mana?
03.
Ha?
BBK 03.
03. Sekejap. Kami.
Percubaan.
Masih jauh sangat.
Oh lah. Baru jauh. Kan? Tapi sebab dia kat sebelah sana. Bang. Okey. Okey. Testing. Ekor lagi tak? Tak ada dah. Okey. Dah.
Mimi okey dengar tadi siapa tinting tadi Mimi ke? Hello? Itu siapa? Mimi ke?
Saya macam saya tak tahu lah. Tahu macam ni. Saya
Saya try.
Cuba
Ibu dengar.
May I cuba pula sama ada, tak tahu sama ada yang kalau headphone macam mana? Kena dekatkan ke? Dengar tak? Tak ada macam mana ni?
tak dengar.
Tak tahulah macam mana ya?
Cakap ada.
Yang tadi yang Asoy punya tu macam kenapa?
Ha?
Tadi Asoy punya jadi kan?
Asu punya, sekejap. Asu tengah type sekarang ada tak? Ada, Asu punya ada. Punya ada?
Tu lah.
Memang tak ada juga. Sudah. Sudah. Macam mana baik?
Yang tu Mimi punya. Dengar tak, Kak Aziz?
Ada. Yang tu ada.
Okay.
Tadi Mimi cuba lagi kan? Tadi ada bunyi tau. Sekejap.
Yang sekarang tak ada.
Mimi tak ada. Ada dengar. Tapi cuba 3 kali ni. Tak ada lah. Ada. Macam mana nak cakap? Bunyi dia sayup setengah. Dia macam ada. Dia bukan bunyi bell. Sekarang tak ada dengar. Macam nak cakap?
Bunyi jauh.
Bunyi dia jauh gila. Bunyi dia macam
Mimi punya. Sekejap ada, sekejap tak ada.
Reset lah pun.
Dah ada.
Test mic. Cubaan suara. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. Okay. Test mic 1, 2, 3. Cubaan suara 1, 2, 3. Test mic 1, 2, 3. Kita suara Good morning.
Recording in progress.
Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Yatimah binti Alias, Vice Chancellor of University Malaysia Pahang Al-Sultan Abdullah. Yang berbahagia Associate Professor Dr. Aizi Nurmazila binti Ramli, Dean of the Faculty of Industrial Sciences and Technology. Yang berusaha Dr. Azizan bin Ramli, Deputy Dean of Research and Postgraduate Studies, and the Conference Chair, Chemist Dr. Wanul Fazilah binti Wan Ismail. Distinguished guests, respected speakers, presenters, participants, and esteemed colleagues. On behalf of the organizing committee, I'm Rashidin Bashiruddin, and I'm honored to serve you as your master ceremony this morning. Welcome to the third International Conference of Industrial Academia Initiative in Biotechnology and Chemistry, ICIABC 2025, proudly organized by the Faculty of Industrial Sciences and Technology, University Malaysia Pahang Al-Sultan Abdullah, UMPSA, in collaboration with the American Chemical Society, ACS, Malaysia Chapter, and Universitas Aisyah Jakarta, Indonesia. Praise be to Almighty Allah for granting us the opportunity to gather here today for the opening of ICIABC 2025. We extend our deepest gratitude to all our conference sponsors, and please make sure you watch their promotional video during the break. And welcome participants from Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, and India. Please remain respectful as we begin with the prayer. I now invite Dr. Muhammad Azwan bin Janal to lead the Doa recitation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
our prayer with umum kitab Al-Fatihah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء سيدنا محمد. All praise and gratitude to be to Allah, Lord of the world, peace and blessing be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, and for those who follow his example in his judgment. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, we thank you for granting us the opportunity to gather here today on this late morning in the conjunction with the third International Conference on Industry Academia Initiatives in Biotechnology and Chemistry. We are grateful towards you in favor of all the blessings to live in safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessings for a smooth progress of this event. O Allah, we ask for your blessings upon this conference. Grant us success in all discussion, presentation, and collaboration throughout this event. Make this as a platform that brings forth meaningful partnerships, innovative solutions, and sustainable progress for the benefit of humanity and the environment. O Lord, open our hearts and minds to knowledge and wisdom. Guide us to speak with sincerity, to share with humility, and to listen with open mind. Instill in us the spirit of cooperation, mutual respect, and academic integrity. Allahumma fatih alayna hikmataka, wansur alayna min fadai rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. O Allah, bestow peace and protection to all participants, speakers, organizers, and guests throughout the duration of this program. Keep us safe, united, and focused on our noble objective. Grant barakah to every state session, and may the knowledge shared here become a means of good for many, both now and in the generation to come. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. الله منكم.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Azwan, for the doa recitation. Okay, dear audience, let's take a moment to watch the corporate video of UMPSA and the Faculty of Industrial Sciences and Technology, FSTI.
What is UMPSA? We are education. In its essence, UMPSA builds the ongoing future generation. It provides the best quality of studying for its students to experience and gain new knowledge. We are passionate, pushing ourselves to become someone who inspires innovation and dedication to continue the legacy. We are technologies, enabling all the world's thinkers to enlighten and shape the world in multiple possibilities. We are TVET, producing quality skilled human resources with their requisite values and beliefs. We are research, exploring new methods and knowledge to develop amazing wonders that will assist our society. We are entrepreneurs. Modern society demands innovative and heart-driven people. UMPSA teaches its students the foundation of what it takes to become one. We are an opportunity, a place for students to create and present their inventions and ideas to the world. We are global, forging a path on an international level through partnerships and understanding. We are a community. Students from across the world can study and interact with ease and share their cultures and heritage. We are service, providing the best facilities for our students to flourish and a chance to give back to society. We are sustainable. For years, The Green Campus has been used to incorporate environmental management and safeguards into tertiary institutions, making them a more livable and sustainable place to study. A place to relax your mind while studying the course of your desire. In UMPSA, anything is possible as our students continue to grow in the present and the future. We are UMPSA.
University Malaysia Pahang Al-Sultan Abdullah is a top medical university in Malaysia focusing on engineering, technology and applied sciences. Welcome to the Faculty of Industrial Sciences and Technology of FSTI. We are located in Lambang campus. We have established since 2008. FSTI has grown alongside UMPSA, driven by provision to lead in applied science and technology. Students are we equip them not just with knowledge, but with experience, ethics, and confidence. We actively collaborate with industry partners through research projects, internships, expert consultations, and curriculum development, ensuring our students and graduates meet their world's industry needs. We offer a wide range of academic programs of undergraduates, including bachelor's degrees in applied sciences, in industrial biotechnology, industrial chemistry, materials technology, and occupational safety and health. FSCI is proud to also offer dual degree program between University Malaysia Pahang Al-Sultan Abdullah UMPSA and Kazakh National Agrarian Research University, Gaznaru, Kazakhstan. Apart from that, we also offer diploma in occupational safety and health and industrial sciences. For postgraduate studies, we offer master's and PhD programs in research, coursework, and mixed mode. FSCI research focus on biotechnology, advanced chemical technologies, advanced materials, and occupational safety, health, and environment. FSCI engage in innovation competitions, community projects, international exchanges, and vibrant extracurriculars. The Faculty of Industrial Sciences and Technology at UMPSA is a place where learning, research, and industry come together. Our students gain real-world experience, our researchers find practical solutions, and our graduates are ready to succeed in today's fast-changing world. With strong industry links and active student life, FSCI is helping shape a better, more sustainable future for all, while continuing to grow as a trusted partner in science and technology. This is FSTI, where passion meets purpose, where science builds the future, where your journey begins.
Ladies and gentlemen, to officially welcome everyone to this conference, I would like to invite Chemist Dr. Wana Fazilah binti Wan Ismail, the conference chair of the ICIABC 2025, to deliver her welcoming address. Please welcome Dr. Wana Fazilah Wan Ismail.
Thank you, Madam Ashikin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. A very warm welcome to the Vice Chancellor of University Malaysia Pahang Al-Sultan Abdullah UMPSA, Professor Dr. Yatimah binti Alias. our respected Dean of the Faculty of Industrial Sciences and Technology, Associate Professor Dr. Aizi Normazila binti Ramli, our dedicated Deputy Dean of Research and Postgraduate Studies, Dr. Azizan bin Ramli, distinguished speakers, presenters, participants, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, all praise to Allah, the Almighty, for granting us the opportunity to gather virtually today for the opening of the third International Conference on Industry Academia Initiative in Biotechnology and Chemistry, in short, ICIABC 2025. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend my heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you. It's amazing to see how far this conference has come. When we kicked things off years ago, the idea was pretty simple. Bring academia and industry into the same room, get people talking, sharing ideas, and maybe even sparking something new. And here we are today, with friends and colleagues joining us from Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Morocco, India, and more. Seeing all of you here is proof that this platform matters, and that the connections we are building are worth every bit of effort. For your information, ICIABC 2025 is proudly organized by the Faculty of Industrial Sciences and Technology, UMPSA, in collaboration with the American Chemical Society, ACS, Malaysia chapter, and Universitas Aisyah, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. I deeply appreciate the efforts and commitment of both partners in ensuring the success of this conference. We are also sincerely grateful to our conference sponsors. Their generous support has enabled the sponsorship of conference fees for our postgraduate students. I can say that it is a direct investment in the next generation of researchers. For your information, our theme this year, Sustainable Growth Through Collaboration and Technological Advancement, couldn't be more timely. We live in a world where scientific breakthroughs are needed more urgently than ever, whether in healthcare, food security, renewable energy, or environmental protection. And while research is essential, we know that research alone is not enough. We must ensure that discoveries are translated into solutions, and that requires strong partnership across sectors and borders. Over the next 2 days, you will hear from plenary, keynote, and invited speakers who are leaders in their fields. Our panelists and presenters will share cutting-edge research that addresses both local and global challenge. This is a golden opportunity to not just listen, but to engage. Ask questions, share your perspective, and explore how your work might connect with others here. And of course, last but not least, I would like to highlight the incredible work of our organizing committee. We have been working for months, some even since last year, to coordinate speakers, manage logistics, design the program, and ensure everything runs smoothly. Your dedication and teamwork have made ICIABC 2025 today a reality, and for that, I am truly grateful. May this conference inspire new insights, spark meaningful collaborations, and pave the way for impactful progress in our shared fields. Let's make full use of this platform to connect, to collaborate, and to co-create solutions that will benefit not only our institutions, but also the communities we serve. I wish everyone an engaging, inspiring, and productive time over the next 2 days. With that, thank you very much for your support and attention.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nurfazila, for your inspiring words. May this event be a success. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great honor to invite our guest of honor, the Vice Chancellor of University Malaysia Bahang Sultan Abu Bakar, UMPSA, Yang Berbahagia Profesor Dr. Yatimah binti Alias, to deliver the official opening speech for the conference. With great respect, please welcome Yang Berbahagia Profesor Dr. Yatimah binti Alias.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam Madani, and a very good morning to all. Associate Professor Dr. Aizin Normazila Ramli, Dean, Faculty of Industry, Sciences and Technology, University Malaysia Pahang Al Sultan Abdullah. Dr. Azizan Ramli, Deputy Dean of Research and Postgraduate Studies, Advisor of this conference. Dr. Wan Fazila Wan Ismail, Conference Chair. Distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, industry partners, respected colleagues, presenters and participants from Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Morocco, India, and beyond. Alhamdulillah, praise to my Almighty Allah, by whose grace and blessings we are gathered here today in good health and spirit to mark the opening of the 3rd International Conference on Industry Academia Initiatives in Biotechnology and Chemistry. It is truly an honor and a great privilege for me to welcome all of you to this important platform of knowledge, collaboration, and innovation. Allow me to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the Faculty of Industrial Science and Technology under the leadership Associate Professor Dr. Aizin Normazila Ramli for the dedication and vision that made this event possible. I also wish to sincerely acknowledge our co-organizer, the American Chemical Society Malaysia Chapter and Universitas Aisyah Yogyakarta Indonesia for their invaluable partnership, as well as our generous sponsor, Platinum sponsor, B Crops Marketing Sdn Bhd, Bronze sponsors, Perkin Elmer and Taat Bestari Sdn Bhd, supporting sponsors, ANR Synergy Sdn Bhd and NextGen Scientific Sdn Bhd. Your contribution reflects a shared belief in advancing science for the greater good. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's theme, Sustainable Growth Through Collaboration and Technological Advancements, is both timely and powerful. It reminds us that knowledge, while vital, is not enough. To confront the grand challenges of our era, whether in healthcare, food security, energy, or the environment, we need strong, enduring, and strategic partnerships between academia, industry, and society. This is the true spirit of this conference, a platform where ideas bridge boundaries, solutions are co-created, and innovation finds its way from the laboratory into the lives of people. The conference brings together two vital domains, industry biotechnology and industrial chemistry, fields that hold immense potential to shape industries, transform societies, and protect our planet. I'm pleased to note that this year we have up to 50 participants comprising presenters and delegates, supported by 40 dedicated committee members whose tireless efforts since last year have made today a reality. To all of you, I extend my deepest gratitude. And to our international participants from across Asia, Africa, and beyond, your presence profoundly enriches this conference with diverse perspectives. Together, we embody the global nature of science and the universities of its mission. As we embark on these 2 days of knowledge sharing, presentations, and discussions, I encourage each one of you to engage deeply with the topics presented, ask bold questions that challenge assumptions, share generously your expertise and perspectives, and build meaningful connections that will last beyond this conference. This is more than just an academic gathering. It is a meeting of minds, a platform for change, and a catalyst for progress. We sincerely hope that the networks and collaborations initiated here will not end with a closing ceremony, but will flourish into future joint research projects, academic exchanges, and transformative industry partnership. Through these efforts, let us collectively contribute to sustainable solutions that make a difference, not only in our countries, but for humanity at large. With that, it is my great pleasure and honor to officially declare the 3rd International Conference on Industry Academy Initiatives in Biotechnology and Chemistry open. May this conference be inspiring, productive, and impactful for all. Coming together is the beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success, by Henry Ford. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yang Berbahagia, Professor Dr. Yatimah, for your meaningful address and the continuous support towards this event. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a moment to watch the opening montage. Okay. Okay, dear audience, we kindly invite everyone to turn on your camera for the virtual photo session. So technical team kindly assist with the photo session.
Yes, Assalamualaikum. Please switch on your camera. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Please smile. Which one? Page 2. 1, 2, 3. Please smile. Next. Another one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. So now we would like to thank Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Yatimah binti Alias, our Vice Chancellor, for her esteemed presence and for officiating the opening ceremony today. Joining us via Zoom, the CPD link for today's session is now available in the chat box. For those joining us via YouTube or Facebook Live, the CPD link has been shared in the live chat. It will remain available for 1 hour. Okay, we now move to the highlight of our morning program, the plenary session. It is our great honor to welcome Yang Berbahagia Professor Datuk Chemist Technologist Dr. Taufik Yap Yun Hin, a distinguished senior professor at University Putra Malaysia and the current chairman of the board of directors at University College of MAWP International, UCMI Kuala Lumpur. He holds a PhD in heterogeneous catalysis from the University of Manchester Institute of Science and Technology, UMIST, United Kingdom. He has published over 500 scientific papers with a Scopus H index of 74. Professor Taufik is internationally recognized for his research in catalysis, bioenergy, and natural products, and has received multiple prestigious awards, including the Malaysia Research Star Award 2018-2025 and the Gold Medal for Excellence in Chemistry. He is a fellow of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, the Malaysian Institute of Chemistry, and the Royal Society of Chemistry UK, and was listed among the world's top 2% scientists by Stanford University. Today, he will share his insights aligned with our conference theme, Sustainable Growth Through Collaboration and Technological Advancements, with the topic of his plenary lecture, Biofuels for Sustainable Future. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Taufik Yap Yun Hin.
Thank you very much, Ms. Chairman. First of all, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Wan Nur Fazilah binti Wan Ismail, the chairman of the conference, for the invitation. I'm also very delighted to see Professor Dr. Yatima alias, which is also my colleague before in chemistry from used to be in University of Malaya and currently the Vice Chancellor of UMPSA. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much to all the participants who listened to my talk today. Well, the lecture of my talk is Biofuel for a Sustainable Future. Next, please. Yeah, when we look at this map, this is Malaysia. So where are we? So we are situated in University Putra Malaysia. Basically, is situated in near to Kuala Lumpur. Next, please. And it's not far from the KL International Airport, KLIA. Just about 40-minute drive, and this is the main entrance of the universities. And currently, we are ranked 134 accordingly to the QS ranking. And University Putra Malaysia is used to be an agriculture university. Next, please. And was formed in 1931, as you can see, as a school of agriculture, and then to Agriculture University in 1971, and 1997 become University Putra Malaysia. Currently, we have about 28,000 students from the postgraduate and undergraduate as well, with almost 2,000 lecturers and researchers in the universities. Next, please. Well, the world is facing unprecedented environmental and energy challenges. These are the two problems that we're facing actually currently, due not only these two, but this is the main problem due to the excessive dependence on fossil fuel. Because of over-dependence and over-abused use of this fossil fuel, then we are currently facing two main problems, which are the environmental and also energy. Well, the climate change, which caused, no, previous slide, please. The climate change and resource depletion and also energy insecurity demand an urgent transition towards a cleaner and also renewable, or we call it as sustainable alternative. Next, please. So this is what happened. We're using fossil fuel, and you can see the increment of this carbon dioxide level, and these also cause the increment of the temperature of the earth. So this greenhouse effect actually tremendous dangerous, on which it could change the world climate as what we are facing at the moment actually. That's why is one of the way that we can reduce the emission of these greenhouse gases or the emission of the CO2 gases into the atmosphere is by switching the energy fossil fuel to renewable fuel, for example, biofuel. Next, please. Well, I'm showing all this type of transportation actually. Why? Because the transportation is the main contributor of the greenhouse gases actually. But anyway, we can switch all of this to biofuel. For example, you have a look at the light vehicle. We can use bioethanol, yeah, or biodiesel for certain car, yeah, and also green diesel, where this is a new type of fuel actually, where I will going to talk about the green diesel as well as some of the biogasoline. Well, heavy trucks normally using diesel, then we can switch to biodiesel and or green diesel. Both the sound, the name looks similar, sounds similar, but they are totally different in terms of chemicals, such as the chemical content. For heavy machinery, normally diesel, then we use biodiesel and green diesel. For marine, either you can use bioethanol, biodiesel, and also green diesel. And for aviation, normally we are using Jet A or Jet B. Then now we can switch to sustainable aviation fuel, or also known as SAF. Next, please. The Sustainable Development Goal, SDG, I think we only know all these things actually, which already been introduced by the United Nations, the stated of the 17 integrated and also interrelated goals to end poverty and protect the planet, to ensure the humanity enjoy the peace and the prosperity by 2030. Next, please. So one of them is SDG number 7, which is affordable and green energy. A burning carbon fuel produces large amount of greenhouse gases, which causes many things, many problems on the climate change, as I mentioned, and also harmful impact on the people well-being and also environment. So advances, next please, advances in the catalysis will help by the new material for renewable energy. So in order to transform, in order to have the transition between from the current new feedstock to produce a new type of fuel, a new type of biofuel, then we need catalysis. We need material which can work for this actually. So this eventually will produce a cleaner fuel, green energy, and by using the green technologies. So have a look on these figures that we are, this is a comparison of the net CO2 life cycle emissions for petroleum diesel and also petrol diesel and also biodiesel. Petroleum diesel is petrol diesel and also the biodiesel. As you can see that by increasing the amount of the biodiesel to P20, which is a 20% of the biodiesel in the fossil diesel, then we can reduce about 16% of the CO2. Well, if we have using a B100, well, this will significantly reduce to almost 80% of the CO2 emission. Next, please. So what are the feedstock that we can use actually to produce the biofuel? Yeah. So in our mind, actually, is the best solution is vegetable oil. But then we know that vegetable is also being what I call it, categorized as a food as well. But that's why we can go for what I call it, unedible or the waste actually. So by looking at the, I'm happy to show you actually the comparison of various type of oil being used for the biofuel. And if you have a look on this, you can see that palm oil significantly produce on the higher yield as compared to other type of crops actually, oil crop in terms of land being used actually. So we can see that palm oil, the oil yield by crop in 2018, actually, the data was recorded by Oil World in 2020. Well, palm oil produced the largest amount so palm oil only need a small land area as compared to the others oil crop which need a larger land area in order to plant this tree. Next, please. So biofuel, the production of biofuel have gone through a few generations actually. As you can see that the first generation using a biomass or using an edible biomass, like sugar cane, wheat, corn, oil crop, for example, oil, palm oil as well. And we moved to the second generation of the non-edible, and we moved to the third generation with the algae biomass, which consists of microalgae as well as macroalgae as well. And the latest generation, which is the fourth generation, by using the synthetic biology and also the genetic engineering plant. Well, there are pros and cons actually, if you look at in detail of each of this generation of the biofuel. But then if you can see that these pros and cons, well, we are looking forward to use one of the cheapest oil that's available in the market, which is unedible, which is a used cooking oil. Next, please. These others, rather than oil, actually, there are also others material. For example, those biomass, lignocellulosic biomass, as well as I mentioned in the diagram that you can see that using different type of technology actually, different type of technology that we can convert them into biofuel as well. But I won't go through in detail actually. Next, please. So even though algae is also considered in the first generation, but the production of algae oil actually is far more smaller, even though the land area is considered small, but then the amount of the oil being produced is very small as well. So that is the most competitive and also most challenges in our current research. Well, as I mentioned just now, biomass is not only that going through the using the oil by its own, but also by using a different type of feedstock. Well, biomass, you can go through a few technology. Either we go through the biochemical process, or in fact, we go through this thermochemical conversion process. But different type of conversion method will give you a different type of product actually. If you can see that, torrefaction, combustion, gasification, pyrolysis, and also hydrothermal liquefaction, and all these things give you a different product actually. But then for example, gasification, you produce syngas and go through this Fischer-Tropsch reaction. Then you also can produce biofuel as well. Next, please. But I'm going to focus more toward the waste cooking oil actually in my talk, and also other type of liquid oil actually, a liquid fat, by using triglyceride. To go through the catalytic cracking and also deoxygenation, which is we can remove the oxygen, then we manage to get a liquid product which is converted into a biogasoline. All right, next please. And this is a problem on our aviation as well, because we can see that aviation also contribute to the global emission of the CO2, as we can see from the diagram. Yeah. So we move to the next one. So this is what I'm going to focus today, which is the oil palm. This is the oil palm plantation. If you haven't gone through, never seen an oil palm plantation, okay? We produce, Malaysia is the second largest of the oil palm producer after Indonesia. Yeah, next please. So by using different method, okay, so we can convert, but I'm focusing on thermal chemical conversion of triglyceride. We can either go through transesterification or esterification, and you can go through hydroprocessing process method, which is you could produce a renewable diesel, biojet diesel, or SAF. Well, if you're going through this transesterification process, you produce biodiesel. Okay, so it's different from the renewable diesel. Okay, we can go through also hydrothermal process, supercritical water, and also using pyrolysis process as well. Next, please. As I mentioned just now, transesterification process using this triglyceride, the vegetable oil, you produce biodiesel. So that is a simple reaction that you can see. And also, if you are going through this deoxygenation process or DO or hydrodeoxygenation process, then we produce green diesel. So what is the difference between green diesel and biodiesel? Basically, biodiesel is an ester compound, all right? It's an ester compound. Triglyceride basically is an ester. When we transform into a different form of the ester actually. That's why we call it transesterification process. And green diesel, basically, you don't produce any ester. The chemical, the diesel itself, is similar to the fossil diesel actually, which consists of hydrocarbon. It's only hydrocarbon. So the process, we only removed the oxygen either by using hydrogen or you are using without hydrogen. So we can do it either in hydrogen or without hydrogen basically. So we can see that the product that produce methyl ester, okay, and DO and HDO all produce paraffin actually, and the difference is whether they produce a CO2 or CO actually. Next, please. So the aviation, as I mentioned, also contribute a lot of this carbon dioxide to the environment. So there is a move by ICIABC, which is the next slide actually, in order to, they are moving towards the net zero carbon. So this was initiated in 2021, and they want to achieve the net zero carbon emission by 2050. Next, please. So what is so special on SAF actually? Sustainable aviation fuel. And this liquid fuel actually have been used in the commercial aviation, but it's not 100%. still mixing, which can reduce the CO2 emission up to 80%. And the feedstock use do not compete with the food crop or output. Next, please. So there are a few methods also in order to produce this aviation biofuel. As you can see that here, by producing this from gasification, producing gas, and this gas go through the Fischer-Tropsch, you have go to shift reaction, and also a methanol synthesis as well to produce methanol, and then we can produce this aviation fuel. Next, please. Let's have a look on the biodiesel, the chemistry of the biodiesel. So basically, methyl ester, or currently also known as FAM or fatty acid methyl esters, can be produced by different methods. One is translocation reaction, whereby you are using a triglyceride process. Using triglyceride react with methanol. Okay, you get methyl ester, which is biodiesel. By using another process, which is esterification process, by using a different feedstock, which is free fatty acid. Free fatty acid react with methanol, also produce methyl ester as well, which is the biodiesel, but with the presence of water. Next, please. So what are the pros and cons actually on the homogeneous and the heterogeneous of this process basically? Well, the current process in industry actually is homogeneous, where they are using a sodium hydroxide as a catalyst to produce this biodiesel. So we, in our center, we are moving towards to solid catalyst, which is also known as heterogeneous catalysis actually. Well, there are a few pros and cons, but we can see that the reaction rate by using homogeneous is considered fast and very high conversion, but for heterogeneous catalysis is moderate. But even though this theoretically we can change by tailor-made the catalyst, we managed to get a very high conversion up to 96-99% of the production of the biodiesel. Well, yes, it is sensitive to the water if using heterogeneous system. The sensitive using the homogeneous system, but not sensitive using the heterogeneous system. Well, this is so-called the advantage. And the other advantage is heterogeneous system, we can reuse the catalyst for many times actually. For sure, the heterogeneous system will be much more cheaper as compared to the homogeneous system. Because homogeneous system, you have to go through another process, which you have to wash. We have to wash many times of the product, of the biodiesel, in order to remove the catalyst, one thing, and also you need to remove the acid as well. And you need to remove the catalyst, which is an alkaline base, react with some acid in order to neutralize. And this become another problem of the wastewater. Well, if you can see the next slide, actually, we can see that a reduction of 40 to 60% can be done by using a heterogeneous system as compared to homogeneous system. Well, we have studied quite a number of catalysts. Next, please. Number of solid catalysts. We started with calcium oxide, actually. This is very interesting, and calcium oxide is very cheap. You know why? Because it's available naturally. And this, when we use calcium oxide, the blue line, you can see that the blue line, we use it a few times actually, but we can see that a significant drop of the yield after the in fact, after the fourth run, you can see that is significantly drop and increasing drop up to the 6th time. But surprisingly, and then also interestingly, when we add this calcium oxide mixed with magnesium oxide, for example, and we mix with zinc oxide, but this mixed metal oxide look very stable compared to calcium oxide. And then, in fact, we can maintain it up to 80% at the 5th
in fact, we can see that is more than 80% of this at the fifth run actually of the catalyst. So there is a strong interaction between the calcium oxide and with the allyl oxide, which makes this calcium oxide stronger bonding and reduce the leaching of the calcium metal into the product. Next, please. So another possible of using a different type of feedstock, which is fatty acid. As I mentioned just now, biodiesel can be produced by using transesterification reaction as well as esterification. If we are using a triglyceride, then the reaction actually is transesterification reaction. But if we are using a fatty acid, for example, this is one type of byproduct actually from the palm oil industry. And in fact, we produce 800,000 tons a year actually. Is a huge amount of this palm fatty acid distillate, which consists 85% of it actually is a FFA, free fatty acid. And most of them are palmitic acid and also oleic acid. Very highly fatty acid content. And this one for sure, you need to use a transesterification reaction. So these two reactions actually using different type of catalyst actually. All right. For esterification, transesterification reaction, the most suitable catalyst is a base catalyst. Don't use acid catalyst. If you're using acid catalyst, you're going to having more problem actually, more problem by higher temperature and also longer reaction time. Okay, but by using basic catalyst, which is calcium oxide, for example, I mentioned just now, calcium, you mix it magnesium oxide, it become a base catalyst. That one will be running at a better, shorter time and also lower temperature. As similar to the one using sodium hydroxide in industry. Next, please. So as you can see that we have using this PFAD by using acid catalyst supported on the carbon sulfated zirconia catalyst supported on the carbon catalyst. Well, this can produce very high conversion, which is almost 100%. And the yield is also very high, 94%. Okay, next, please. And we have done some what I call it optimization studies on this particular reaction using our acid catalyst because the reaction is at about 60 degrees Celsius, actually 65 degrees Celsius. Well, we can manage to get very good reaction process. We were looking at the methanol and PFAD ratio. We are looking at the reaction temperature. As you can see that at the 65, you can manage to get, in fact, 75 is 75 or 80 degrees Celsius is considered is the best reaction temperature. And in fact, the amount of the catalyst as well, and we are looking on the reaction time, and it's only 1 to 2 hours. You manage to get up to 90-80% of the conversion. Next, please. So regarding on the reusability, next, please. Reusability, you can see that we can use it up to 5 runs. On the 5th run, well, you can see that the conversion is still considered very high, and the FEM yield is considered very high as well. Next, please. So this is interesting, whereby by using PFAD, you can see that the product, the biodiesel produced, the only problem is the cloud point and also the pour point, which is slightly higher from the standard. Well, this may not suitable, but in fact we can change it by modify the chemicals, and also modify the feedstock use actually. Well, anyway, for a hot country, for Malaysia, we have no problem using this type of PFAD biodiesel. Next, please. Next, please. And you can see that a delicious food, and all this come from frying process. And Malaysia is very popular on goreng pisang, as you can see, goreng cekodok, whatever. So we use a lot of oil actually in our food process. And next, please. And we produce about 0.5 ton a year. And our main source of oil actually from the palm oil actually. Well, next, please. So using triglyceride is a highly potential to produce fatty acid, as we can see that this consists of either saturated fatty acid or unsaturated fatty acid, and 3 fatty acid bound to a single propane actually. And this is a very potential use to produce hydrocarbon actually. Next, please. As we have seen the comparison between biodiesel versus the green diesel, again, biodiesel basically is triglyceride, whereas renewable or green diesel actually is an hydrocarbon. As you can see that the chemical compound, actually green diesel is about C13 to C20, all right? Whereas the green gasoline, which is at the lower range of the hydrocarbon, C8 to C12, which is similar, exactly similar to the fossil fuel, basically. So that's why some of the researchers, they use as drop-in fuel, drop-in biofuel, which means you don't have to mix with others fuel in order to produce that particular biodiesel. In fact, in our biofuel market actually today is B20, B40 actually. This is a mixture of 20% of biodiesel with 80% of fossil diesel. And in fact, we can mix with the 40 diesel as well. Next, please. But then, what is so interesting that if I'm saying of the drop in basically is because we can use 100% actually on the green diesel, without changing the engine, without any modification of the engine, of the car, the vehicle transportation engine. Whereas if you're using biodiesel, so currently it's up to 20 to 30%, but B100, maybe you need to have some changes of the motor of the engine, and in order to make it work. So the next one is bioaviation fuel, or normally we call it as a sustainable aviation fuel. Currently, the jet fuel used in the aviation industry actually is a kerosene range actually, with the number of carbon is C9 to C6, C15, C16, okay, C16, right? So you can see that most of them actually in the range of the kerosene, gasoline, or mixtures as well. Next, please. So we have to be target. Next, please. We have to target in order to produce a C9, C8 to C16 in this range, in order to get this what do you call it? In order to get this biojet or sustainable aviation fuel. But if this carbon is slightly longer, which is around C11 to 20, so this is categorized as the green diesel. Okay, so next, please. As I mentioned, the green diesel can be produced by deoxygenation process or hydrodeoxygenation process. Both, they are similar. The only difference is one, you have to flow with the hydrogen, and the other one, you just flow with the continuous with nitrogen. A simple setup. It's very simple. then it can go through different type of reaction, either decarboxylation or decarbonylation of the process. It depends on the feedstock that we have, that we use actually. Next, please. And various type of deoxygenation catalysts when used actually in the research. Either they are calcium oxide, alumina, sodium hydroxide, and also hydroxide as well. Basically, a mixtures of metals with a support system as well. Nickel with carbon, palladium, platinum with carbon. Well, I won't go through this process. I mean, for me, if I wouldn't go through this this type of noble material, normal metal, because it is very expensive. So I would go through a simple, basic, simple catalyst with the properties of acid and basicity, with better surface area, and also resistant to coke formation as well, because coke formation will reduce the activity of the catalyst, and high reusability of the catalyst, and also a low cost for sure. And normally low cost catalyst have a simple preparation method. Well, next please. So is a combination of the acid base catalyst is important basically. That's why we mix with calcium oxide with certain metal, which is, for example, nickel, silica, or alumina, will give these acidity properties to the catalyst. Next, please. And we have studied a real oil. That one actually, the previous slide is showing the triolene actually is a model compound for produce hydrocarbon. And when you're using a real oil, for example, waste cooking oil, I'm using also jatropha, cooker's oil, jatropha oil, and in fact, we compare with the PFAD as well, and we found that PFAD gave us the higher yield of hydrocarbon, which is 87%, as compared to the the waste cooking oil give us the highest hydrocarbon yield, which is 87%, compared to the PFAD is 81%, and the jatropha is 74%. So in terms of, next place, in terms of selectivity, so we have to use a GC to determine what type of hydrocarbon being produced, and you can see that C17 and also C15. So if you have high content of this C15, I mean especially the C17, then it's considered more suitable as a green diesel rather than what do you call it, rather than sustainable aviation fuel. So sustainable aviation fuel, as I mentioned before, the range of the hydrocarbon is C9 to C16. So you have above C17 and above, then this is more suitable as a green diesel. So here we can tailor make our fuel accordingly. So we are using a different type of a feedstock will give us a different type of product actually, either a green diesel or aviation fuel. The next slide shows us the product distribution from the GCMS result on the gasoline, diesel, and a cyclic compound or carboxylic acid, alcohol, and also ketone. So next slide showing that the reusability study and also effect of the FFA on the deactivation of the catalyst. As you can see that from this is a TGA result showing us that there are some production of coke process when you are using a very high content of FFA. So this one, that's why you have a very significant coke content, which is 14%, as compared to the others, which is much lower compared to this PFAD. And the next slide showing us the reusability, whereby we can use for this particular catalyst, we can also only use up to fourth run actually. But we have other type of catalysts which have given us a very high reusability. Next, please. So I did mention about the acidity and also the basicity of the catalyst, which is very important because both of them will give you a different rule actually. So so we tested on the basicity actually by using TPD of CO2, wells in order to determine the acidity, we are using the TPD of ammonia. So this will give us a different view. As you can see from the table that one of the catalysts, which is the nickel, this one is a nickel with cobalt actually, mixed a metal oxide catalyst with the composition of 0.5 nickel and 0.5 cobalt, giving us a very strong acid. And these acid properties actually promote the C to C cleavage. C to V cleavage means to remove one of the carbon basket. We can easily to reduce the length of the hydrocarbon. Let's say we have a C16, so we can produce a C15 hydrocarbon, which is more suitable to use for aviation fuel rather than green diesel. Okay, so this is the thing. Next page. So we analyze as well by using different methods by GCFID and also GCMS, looking at the type of the hydrocarbon that produced. Well, this particular catalyst, which is the most active one, give us about 92% of a different type of hydrocarbon from C8 to C20, and the selectivity, but the selectivity towards the aviation fuel or biojet fuel is 67%. 67%. And the most interesting part is we managed to get this a C8 actually, C8, no sorry, C10 and 11, which is much more suitable for the jet fuel. Okay, and you can see that different type of catalyst will promote different type of hydrocarbon in the range. Yep. The next one, if I look at this development of the binary manganese and copper catalyst supported on calcium oxide, which is modified activated carbon, and this castor oil actually consists of a lot of this resinolic acid, with C18, with one double bond, So with this process, what are the hydrocarbon that produce? When we look at the result, next please. We look at the result. These surprisingly produce C9, which is a shorter range, a shorter length of the hydrocarbon, which is only C9. The rest, we can see that you can see that C15, C17, isn't it? But this one is much better to use as a feedstock for the aviation fuel, whereby the majority of this hydrocarbon produces C9, which means there is a cleavage between carbon-carbon at the middle of this double bond. So this cleavage produce a C9 hydrocarbon. And when we look at this bimetallic sample, okay, the bimetallic sample produce 85% with totally on C9, but we have a few amount of this C11 as well. Next, please. We have done some optimization studies, including we are looking at the catalyst loading, reaction time, as well as the reaction temperature. And we found that with the catalyst loading of 3% give us a very high conversion, which is 94, and with 3% of the catalyst. Next, please. But the thing is, you produce C9 and also some C11. Next, looking at the reaction time is 60 minutes. We found that 60 minutes is good enough to produce a very high conversion with C9 selectivity. Reaction temperature, next please, will be at about 330 degrees Celsius, which is more suitable when most of this reaction actually running at about 300 to 350 degrees Celsius. 400 definitely is too high, then that's why you can see a reduction of the product. But this one, you can produce 92% of the C9. So we did study on this, next please, on the span catalyst actually, and we found that there are quite a number of carbon deposition on the catalyst, and we're also looking at the XRD of the fresh and also the span catalyst, and we found some broadening of the peak, which is showing the formation of the coke, and definitely this present of the coke significantly reduce the conversion. Last, the conclusion. So biofuel basically presents a promising pathway towards a more sustainable and cleaner energy future, because it's definitely reduced the amount of the carbon emission. And by utilizing the renewable biological resources, biofuel not only reduce the dependence on the fossil fuel, but also we're helping lower the greenhouse gas emission and also support the rural economics. And however, the realizing the full potential require addressing challenges such as feedstock sustainability and also the technology development. And moving forward, continue research, supported policy, as well as the public-private collaboration. For example, this is one of the conference, the industry and the university collaboration consider essential to scale up the biofuel production and integrate it effectively in the global energy mix. And I wanted to share you, we are working with one of these oil palm industry. Well, they have they will, okay, they promise us 800,000 ringgit to for a project on the production of sustainable aviation fuel. And this coming Thursday, we're going to sign an agreement with them. And alhamdulillah, this is a way forward to go to the industrial and the biggest scale of the production. So researcher, we have to commit to innovation as well as make sure that sustainability as part of the transition towards a greener future powered by bioenergy. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Yang Bahagia, Professor Dr. Kemis, that topic
Yeah, thank you.
presentation. Okay, so now we will open the floor for a short and Q&A session. So if you have any question, please unmute your microphone and ask your questions. And you can also write your question in the chat box and we will read your question.
Assalamualaikum. Professor Dr. Taufik, can you hear me? Sorry, I'm Nadia. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very clear.
Okay. So I have two questions. Firstly, about congratulations on your upcoming contract signing for the way forward. Sangat membanggakan lah. Can you maybe share with us like how big the capacity that you're going to start off with this upcoming plan of yours with the industry, and then at the earlier part of your presentations you mentioned about the word something that sounds like Fisher drop, or
Yeah,
something
Fisher
like that.
drop. Yes.
Oh, could you explain what's that? So because I don't know how should it be spelled, so I don't really know what is this. Could you like share a bit on that?
Let me answer the first one. Actually, the production is 400 liters. Yeah, compared to the small scale in our lab currently. Uh, uh, yeah, and the second question, Fischer-Tropsch is one of the reaction to producing gas actually by using biomass material. Yeah. So from the syngas actually, you can go through many processes in order to produce chemicals, petrochemicals, and also fuel actually, biofuel.
Oh yeah, one more about, you mentioned about the metal catalyst.
Yeah.
So you're moving towards a different, a newer form of catalyst, and you mentioned about like the metal catalyst before, they are very expensive. But in terms of the conversion, the yield, versus the cost, um, w- does it really? I would assume it's expensive because it's good. But is it really very good, or just slightly better, or even not even better for as
No,
compared to the newer?
it's very good because we patented our catalyst.
Sorry, come again.
Very good. We have patented our catalyst. Is in fact using basically is a calcium oxide based catalyst. Can you hear me? Is something wrong with the internet? Something like that?
Yeah, I
Can you
think
hear me?
yeah, now I can hear you, but I kind of missed
Yeah,
few things that you mentioned. Could you like
I
repeat it?
repeat. Actually, the catalyst that you use is very good. It's not only good, it's very good. We have patented actually 10 years ago. We have patented this calcium oxide catalyst. We are mixing some metal oxide in order to make it stronger, and it's not easily leaching to the product or to the reaction or to the methanol. Uh, and in fact, and the usability is also very good.
So how many percent did you save in terms of cost for this catalyst, for
For
this new
sure.
catalyst?
Okay, I can tell you there is a natural catalyst. Most of the calcium actually appear as a calcium carbonate, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
that's
get
true.
it like shell. You can get it in calcium carbonate as the limestone in a shell, seashell, everything. And in fact, we can get it from the mineral, for example, the dolomite. The dolomite actually consists of calcium oxide, calcium carbonate, and magnesium carbonate. And this is one example whereby natural already give us a kind of carbonate, mixed carbonate. And we just need to heat to a high temperature, around 8 to 900 degrees Celsius, in order to remove the carbonate. It become calcium oxide. You remove the CO2, become calcium oxide. Mixtures of calcium oxide and magnesium oxide. And this is also, we have done this one. We have published in a very good journals, Q1 journal, and it works very well as well. And we have tested on a few other things as well, under reaction. Yeah. I consider it's a simple, not complicated synthesis process.
Yeah, the simpler the
So you
better, right?
can synthesize a lot of chemical which can work well, but the process to synthesize the chemicals is very difficult. For example, I give you MOF. MOF maybe is good example. Maybe good for as a catalyst, but the process to synthesize is headache, isn't it? As compared to us, we just calcite, we manage to get it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Is there more question?
Question in the chat box. Okay, the question, I have a question on conducting study approach when it comes to energy and thermal production through biomass, especially through pump or biomass. What kind criteria we should consider on studying in feasibility as low carbon energy. Malaysia diversify the biomass energy now and researcher how you think its potential and constraints.
Macam susah aja soalan. Okay. So dia punya soalan ni apa sebenarnya? What is the, let me listen again.
Chat box, bro.
In the box
Yeah.
Let me have a look on the chat box. Conducting study approach when it comes to the energy and thermal production through biomass, especially through palm oil biomass. What kind of criteria we should consider on studying its feasibility as low carbon to energy? Well, when we talk about biomass, it always, this is the current what do you call it, the future of the energy actually, because biomass is one thing is sustainable, so renewable. The other thing is the biofuel produced from these sources, they are much lower in terms of CO2 emission and CO as well. So we are very lucky as well, because Malaysia is considered as one of the larger producers of biomass. In fact, some of the state in Malaysia, I only know Sabah because I involved in the finalize the biomass policy of the state in the cabinet paper, that the government wouldn't allow us, the Sabah government wouldn't allow us to sell the biomass directly, because they have a collection center in the state, so that we can generate more income from this biomass. In fact, diversity, the biomass now, and as researcher, how you seen it potential? For sure, it's very potential, because there are a lot of these research group internationally, not locally. Actually, I'm not talking locally because I'm presenting the same message, a different method of using biomass. And in fact, in international conferences, they are all looking forward. In fact, China and also Japan buy our biomass a lot actually. They buy a lot of our biomass, and they use this biomass for many other things as well. In fact, our what they call it, PFAD used to be very cheap actually at one time, because no one looking at the potential of it actually. And in fact, we have studied a lot of this PFAD, okay, and for the potential of producing biodiesel. And in fact, it's also, and I show some of the result, we produce a large amount of this green diesel, and in fact, sustainable aviation fuel. Only thing we have to tailor make the catalyst. One thing is we have to tailor make the reaction process in order to shorten the hydrocarbon into a shortened one, because the different actually is the length of the hydrocarbon for different purposes. The same process actually in a refinery, actually in oil and gas refinery, whereby this distillation process, distillation towel actually, the separate the oil according to the number of hydrocarbon actually. So that's why the lowest one is the gases, then you go to the some of liquid, and this liquid with different type of different length of this hydrocarbon will give you a different purpose, either as a biogasoline or not biodiesel. The biodiesel is different thing, a green diesel, or in fact this sustainable aviation fuel. So basically, in our country, biomass is we have a policy on the biomass, and that's what I can answer you. And the potential is very high.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Salam.
Yeah, I'm Fasili. Nowadays, if you see today's trend is people are using the electrical vehicle EV. So in terms of can you share your insight regarding the biodiesel challenge in Malaysia or international?
Actually, biodiesel in Malaysia is different case actually. Personally, I feel that the the advancement, the advancement of this biodiesel and also the trend of using biodiesel in Malaysia is very slow as compared to Indonesia. We are still B20, they are moving toward B40, B50. Yeah. In fact, there is one time biodiesel considered as what I call it, no income industry, something like that, because it's happened that a few biodiesel plant in Malaysia was closed down because there is no. We have the direction, we have everything, but the what they call it, the instruction to use the biodiesel is so slow. We still remember they started with the 4 state, Wilayah Persekutuan, Melaka, Negeri Sembilan, Selangor, then only go through other states and slowly to Sabah and Sarawak. It's very slow. But in fact, tadi tanya apa dah? Saya pun lupa. How do you compare with EV actually? Okay. How do you compare to EV? China is one of the champion actually. It's not one of the, it's the champion now actually using EV. Is it still this with the using of EV? Is this biofuel still relevant? I would say it's still relevant because many other country is not ready with this EV yet. In fact, in Malaysia, as you can see that how many EV cars on the road actually, because the facility for charging is, for example, well, in fact, in China, I've gone through my friends' cars. Actually, they're using EV. One of my friends is using Neo. Actually, you can easily change the battery anyway. In the mentioned in the lab, in the map actually, they're available. The availability is there, but we don't have these facilities. And in fact, the other thing is, you don't forget that EV is not only the solution actually. EV also create other problems, which is the waste of the battery. We cannot use the battery forever. We cannot use the battery forever. One day you have to throw away the battery, and this become a very toxic waste to the environment actually. So this is one of the problems that we have to go through. And in fact, some of the battery also cause some problem because explosion, for example, mostly in Europe, but hardly seen any explosion in China. Basically, maybe their technology battery is very good. When we're talking about aeroplane, for example, for sure you cannot use battery. You cannot charge anywhere on the air, isn't it? You still, that's why AITA, the airline industry, they're moving towards the sustainable aviation fuel. Okay, for ship, marine, you also don't have the facilities of this battery. So that's why there are some of this transportation device actually, but still using more suitable using biofuel rather than electrical vehicle actually.
Thank you, Prof.
I think my time is also.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for all questions just now. Okay, thank you once again to Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Taufik for engaging audience and answering their questions.
Thank you.
Okay, for your information, our conference streaming via YouTube or Facebook Live has ended. Now, I would like to invite our first keynote speaker yang berbahagia, Professor Dr. Saiful Nizam Tajudin. Okay, for information, yang berbahagia Professor Dr. Saiful Nizam Tajudin, prominent researcher and academic at UMPSA, where he previously led the Bioaromatic Research Center of Excellence. His expertise lies in the chemistry of natural products, especially in the extraction, characterization, and sensory analysis of agarwood and other fragrance-related materials. With over 98 scientific publications, multiple patents, and collaboration with local and